Howdy y'all, it's Reese, aka Bearman Prime, on this March 28th. Welcome back to my Read the Bible in a Year series. Thank you again for joining me. Card in the top right hand corner for the rest of the playlist, and there's that like button, that subscribe button, and that notification bell. You know you want to hit at least some of those. Alright, so yesterday we have set up the climactic story, the epic story, classic story of David versus Goliath. The armies of Israel and the Philistines are on opposite sides of the valley. Goliath is challenging Israel. Bring out your best man. Let me fight him. If you win, then we will serve you. But you're not going to win. Look at me. I'm Goliath. I'm big. I'm strong. I'm terrifying. And all the Israelite soldiers were afraid. But here comes David, the shepherd boy, the young man who's like, God is with us. Why should we be afraid of him? He can't challenge the living God. And all the Israelites, they're like, you have no idea what you're talking about. What are you even saying? What are you even asking? And so now we're going to pick it up there where we left off in 1 Samuel chapter 17, starting in verse 32. David said to Saul, people shouldn't let Goliath discourage them. I am your servant. I will go fight this Philistine. Saul answered, you can't go out and fight against this Philistine. You're not even a soldier. Goliath has been fighting in wars since he was a boy. But David said to Saul, there were times when I was taking care of my father's sheep that wild animals came to take some sheep from the flock. One time there was a lion, and another time a bear. I chased that wild animal, attacked it, and took the sheep from its mouth. The wild animal jumped on me, but I caught it by the fur under its mouth, and I hit it and killed it. I killed both a lion and a bear like that, and I will kill that foreigner Goliath, just like them. Goliath will die because he made fun of the army of the living God. The Lord saved me from the lion and the bear. He will also save me from this Philistine. Saul said to David, go, and may the Lord be with you. Saul put his own clothes on David. He put a bronze helmet on David's head and armor on his body. David put on the sword and tried to walk around. He tried to wear Saul's uniform, but David was not used to all those heavy things. David said to Saul, I can't fight in these things. I'm not used to them. So David took them all off. He took his walking stick in his hand and went to find 5 smooth stones from the stream. He put the 5 stones in his shepherd's bag and held his sling in his hand. Then he went out to meet the Philistine. Verse 41. The Philistine slowly walked closer and closer to David. Goliath's helper walked in front of him carrying a large shield. Goliath looked at David with disgust. He saw that David was only a handsome, healthy boy. Goliath said to David, what is that stick for? Did you come to chase me away like a dog? Then Goliath used the name of his gods to say curses against David. He said to David, come here, and I'll feed your body to the birds and the wild animals. David said to the Philistine, you come to me using sword, spear, and javelin. But I come to you in the name of the Lord all-powerful, the God of the armies of Israel. You have said bad things about him. Today the Lord will let me defeat you. I will kill you. I will cut off your head and feed your body to the birds and wild animals. And we will do the same thing to all the other Philistines too. Then all the world will know there is a God in Israel. All the people gathered here will know that the Lord doesn't need swords or spears to save people. The battle belongs to the Lord, and he will help us defeat all of you. Goliath the Philistine started to attack David. He slowly walked closer and closer to David, but David ran out to meet Goliath. David took out a stone from his bag. He put it in his sling and swung the sling. The stone flew from the sling and hit Goliath right between the eyes. The stone sank deep into his head, and Goliath fell to the ground, face down. So David defeated the Philistine with only a sling and 1 stone. He hit the Philistine and killed him. David didn't have a sword, so he ran and stood beside the Philistine. Then David took Goliath's own sword out of its sheath and used it to cut off his head. That is how David killed the Philistine. When the other Philistines saw their hero was dead, they turned and ran. The soldiers of Israel and Judah shouted and started chasing the Philistines. The Israelites chased them all the way to the city limits of Gath and to the gates of Ekron. They killed many of the Philistines. Their bodies were scattered along the Sharim road, all the way to Gath and Ekron. After chasing the Philistines, the Israelites came back to the Philistine camp and took many things from that camp. David took the Philistines' head to Jerusalem, but he kept the Philistines' weapons at home. Verse 55. Saul watched David go out to fight Goliath. Saul spoke to Abner, the commander of the army. Abner, who is that young man's father? Abner said, I swear I don't know, sir. King Saul said, find out who his father is. When David came back after killing Goliath, Abner brought him to Saul. David was still holding the Philistine's head. Saul asked him, young man, who is your father? David answered, I am the son of your servant Jesse from Bethlehem. And there you have it. Power of God on full display right there. Like David said, God doesn't need brute strength. He doesn't need swords, weapons, or anything like that to win the battle. God is in control. He is creator. He is Lord of all. He doesn't need us, but he will use us for his glory. And here we see how David, just this tiny little shepherd boy, a teenager, literally a teenager, killed a 9-foot tall man weighing hundreds of pounds with all this armor and weaponry with just one stone. Right there. Killed him. Brought glory to Israel, brought glory to God. And that's not going to be all for David. David's got a lot more great things ahead of him. That's where we're going to end for today. Thank you for joining me. I sure do appreciate it, and I'll see y'all tomorrow. Bye.